Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, welcome to today's live event. Where we'll be talking to you about pathways you can use to migrate to Canada in 2023. Before we go on, we want to welcome you all to 2023 first. So I'm here with a colleague of mine.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing? Happy New Year to all our viewers anywhere you are in the world. Yeah, this is a
Yeah,
new year, and
2023.
yeah, and this is the first event we're having this year. So it's it's good to tell everybody Happy New Year. We are believing that this year we will assist as many people as possible to achieve their migration goals. So just reach out to us, and we'll be able to assess you and advise you on the best pathway you can actually use to migrate to Canada. So welcome to today's live event once again. But before I go on, I would like to encourage you to follow us on all our social media channels. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we're also on Twitter. Our handle is at TrueLink Travel. We also want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have so many videos on our YouTube channel that will be beneficial to you if you want to migrate to Canada or any other country. Just go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, and you are sure that you will learn a lot, a lot. And we still have so many videos that we're going to post. So just subscribe and follow us on all our social media channels. So back to today's topic: pathways you can use to migrate to Canada in 2023. You know, because we get a lot of calls from people every day. A lot of calls, messages, asking about what pathway they can use. And that's one of the reasons why we came up with this topic at the beginning of the year. Do you want to?
Yeah, I feel so many of the people who phone us, they want to immigrate, but they have no idea what pathway they could use. I don't think they even know the options that they have. And so a lot of the times, the first thing we have to do is just talk about the different options that are available. And then they can think about what one would be best for them and their family.
Yeah, 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 that's true.
Yeah.
You know,
Hopefully they can watch this as well and see the options that they have. And then when they phone, they can say, I saw this one and I want to do this one with you.
yeah, yeah. That will make our work easier, at least from the start. They already know what they want to do based on what we've discussed and all that. Anyway, there are a lot of them. There are actually over 80 programs that you can use to migrate to Canada. There are so many of them. So many of them. You know, but well, it's this seminar will not be able to talk about all of them. We just picked one or two few ones and talk about them. You know, but you can always reach out to us. You can reach out to us through our WhatsApp number. Let me display it down on the screen so that people can see it. You can reach out to us through our WhatsApp number. Yes, so that we can talk to you about it. At times, people might still need a one-on-one consultation, where you can sit down, talk with one of the consultants. It can be me, it can be Colin, or any of the other consultants that work with us. And at that event, you'll be able to ask specific questions. Today's seminar too, we're going to allow people to ask questions. Being the first seminar for the year, we're going to take a lot of questions. We're going to try to be very brief with the seminar so that we can take lots of questions. I know that a lot of people have so many questions to ask us, and we would give you time or opportunity to ask us those questions, and we'll try our best to answer all of them. But if your questions are not answered, you still have a chance to talk to us. You can send a chat to us on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp line is +1 587 568 6124. Again, I call that again, +1 587 568 6124. And you can also call our office line direct. Our office line is 780. Also plus one anyway, plus one 780 733 0900. Again, 7 plus 1 780 733 0900. So send us a chat, call us directly. We are sure that we'll answer your questions. And if you want to book a consult, you can also reach out to us, book a consultation. You can go to our website and book the consult. Our website is www.trulinktravel.com. The true does not have an he. www.trulinktravel.com. You can book a consult directly, and you have the opportunity to speak with either me, Colin, or any of the consultants working with us. And we are sure that you will get answers to your questions. So I will start by one of the just like I said, there are so many programs that you can use. The one I want to talk about, the first one I want to talk about is Express Entry. I'm sure many of us know about this program, Express Entry. It's a common, it's not popular. Everybody knows about it because over the years, a lot of people have come in through that program, and many more people are still going to come in through that program too. So Express Entry is one of the programs that you can actually use to migrate to Canada. And Express Entry, what does it entail? Everybody is put in a pool. You apply online, you are put in a pool, and government comes there and they select the highest ranking members in the pool. Of recent, since 2020, at the time they paused that program during COVID period, but sometime last year they started it back, and I have to tell you that the cutoff mark has been quite high since that time, since they started it back. In fact, they had a draw yesterday or 2 days ago, and the cutoff this was 507. Last year too, it came down to less than 500, but it's still quite high. And the meaning of that is, if you're outside Canada this year, I don't really think Express Entry will be the best option for you for this year. Maybe towards the end of the year, the cutoff mark might come down, unless the cutoff mark comes down way below 500, maybe like 470, 460. Yeah, it's fine. But if the cutoff mark remains at 500 and above, it's really very tough, because at the end of the day, if you're outside Canada, it's going to be very tough for you to score 500. The people that can score above 500 are likely those that have provincial nomination, or those that have studied in Canada, or those that have worked in Canada, because they get extra point for that. If you're outside Canada, the likelihood that you will ever score 500 is very low, very low. So based on our own projection, Express Entry might not be the best option for anyone who lives outside Canada, or someone who has not studied in Canada, or someone who has not worked in Canada. Express Entry this year might not be the best, because I don't personally see that cutoff mark going lower than 500 so soon. Even if it goes lower than 500, it's still going to be close to 500. And if the cutoff mark does not come to like 470, 475 or thereabouts, those outside Canada who have not studied or have not worked in Canada are at a great disadvantage. So, but despite that, it's still one of the programs, and we are praying and hoping that the cutoff mark will come down to what we all want, and if they do that, then that will be a game changer for those that are living outside Canada. But for those that are inside Canada, it is still one of the fastest and best routes that you can use to come into Canada. So, Colin, over to you.
Yeah, so I want to also mention provincial nomination, and you spoke about that as well during your explanation of the Express Entry program. Provincial nomination is very similar, but it is done by the provinces directly. So Express Entry is done by the federal level. That's the whole country. But the provincial nomination pathway, that is for each province. They are able to select what they are looking for, what they know that their province needs in terms of their workers. If they have a shortage of, for example, people who are very good with technology, they might try to do a pool full of just people who work in that field. And then they'll select from that field the ones that are going to be suitable for the positions that they have all these openings. So that's a really good way for someone who has specific skills, or they have got maybe some other connection to what the province is looking for, that they will be able to be eligible and can apply to that province directly. And if you are able to apply to a province directly and you're selected, you can get so many bonus points. So that's something that, if you are curious, if you have a skill or a job or experience that is in an area that's in high demand right now, you can also reach out to us and fill out our assessment form that we have and ask us questions about if you think that you would be able to benefit from one of these provincial nomination programs, because if you can, they are very, very high scoring programs. And it's a great way to get in fast through the federal level of PR. Yeah.
Yeah, so different provinces, just like I said, different provinces have different programs. There are so many of them, So, but what we do at our own end is we'll assess you to see you might not be able, you can't be able, not that you can't be eligible for all the programs, but when you come to us, we'll assess you to see which ones you're eligible for, and we'll apply to them. And then one good thing about provincial nomination, they keep changing. Some of our time services tweak it, change some things, change requirements, remove this operation from it, add this one to it. We are always in the know of all these things, and we are always updated regularly about it. So if you reach out to us, we'll be able to help you. We'll assess you to see which is best for you and which of the provinces that your profile may fit, so that you can possibly use that to come to Canada. Yeah, so the next one I want to talk about is the startup visa program. This is not a very popular pathway that people know about. But the funny thing is that many of us are actually very innovative, so we can actually come in through this program. What does the startup visa program entail? So, startup visa program is one of the programs you can use to come to Canada, and it allows you to come into Canada to start a business. But it's not about you having to invest so much money like the investment pathway. It's just for you to have what we call an innovative idea, and you have the intention to create jobs for Canadians, and you are also able to compete on a global scale. If you are able to, if you meet any of these requirements, you might be able to come into the startup visa program. And what it actually entails is you need to reach out to one of the designated organizations that Canada has designated to help with the program. You need to reach out to them and try your best to get a letter of support from them. So what do? You go to them, you reach out to them, and pitch your business idea to them. So if you have a business idea that you think is unique, it's innovative, and can create jobs for people in Canada, reach out to these bodies that government has designated, talk to them about it, write your business plan. There are so many of them. There are so many of those bodies all around. You just need to start online, send your business plan to them. Once you can get any of them who is willing to follow through with you and give you a letter of support, you are good to go. That's all. That's the basic thing. That's the most difficult part, getting a letter of support from a designated organization. If you're able to get that, then you are fine. And the funny thing about this program is you can collaborate with your friends and colleagues. It doesn't have to be you alone. If you have people who have ideas, or if you're a group of people, you have a business idea that you want to set up, and you think the idea is unique and innovative enough, you can reach out. You can come together, write out a business plan, look out for a designated organization in Canada, discuss with them, and get a letter of support from them. Once you get that from them, you are good to go. You apply for PR. And the funny thing about the Startup PR program is it's a direct to PR pathway, quite unlike many others. The direct to PR pathway, even though you can also get a work permit if you want a work permit, along the way. You can get a work permit before you get your PR. But at the end of the day, the program leads to permanent residence. So this is one of the programs that you can actually consider to use. You can reach out to us, you can ask us about it, you can book a consult to speak to us about it so that we can educate you more about it. But really, it's not a program that many people know about, but it's one of the programs that you can actually use. We have had clients who have used that to migrate to Canada, and we are willing to assist many other people to use this program to migrate to Canada. So reach out to us. Our WhatsApp number again is +1 587 568 6124. If you want us to assess or guide you through that pathway, we can actually do that. So over to you, Colin.
Yeah, so another program that I really like is the Caregiver program. And so that program is where you will find someone who has typically is going to be a child in Canada, or they have children, and they want you to come and be the childcare worker for their children. So for people who have got maybe family or really good friends or even just acquaintances in Canada that will be able to help them find a family that needs a little help with the childcare in their home, then this is a great option for you. You can go with your family, with your spouse, with your children. They'll go with you, and you will work as a childcare worker and look after the children of the family that has hired you. And then your spouse can come and do a work permit for other thing. They can do their own work. Their children can come as well. So you and your children can go. It's a really good option, especially if you know someone. But even if you don't know someone, we can also help you to look for jobs that are posted and available for childcare, because that is a really in-demand area in Canada. The need for childcare is something that exists, especially since the pandemic has rounded up and people have returned to work and they're still looking for the best childcare options for their family. So you don't have to be a professional childcare worker in your home country. You just have to have some experience with children and some basic education, but it doesn't have to be related to childcare either. So this is a program where the eligibility is quite low for the actual job that you're doing, which is really good, because if you have, even raised your own children, that can count as your childcare work. So if you have your own kids that you've been raising, then you can use that as your experience for this job.
Yeah, just to add to what she said, we actually have two categories for that program. We have the home support worker and the home child care pilots. Just like you said, it's the home child care pilot is hot cake. The demand for that program is way too high. In fact, for this year, when they opened the portal for submission this year, within 3 hours, the quota for the year was filled up. That confirms that further confirms that what she said, that there's a high demand for that, and people are really looking to use that pathway to migrate. But the home support worker is still open. That one is still open, taking applications for that. But the home support worker takes care of people who are sick or who have disability, and not just kids. So you can also look at that. We have people who are eligible for that. You have nurses, you have those who are taking care of the elderly or who are taking care of the sick over the years, and you have the experience for that. You can reach out to us, and you are sure that we'll be able to assess you to see uh, which of them you can use, and we'll also guide you on how best to go about it. So the next one I would like to talk about is investment routes. I love this very well. Maybe because I'm a business person, I love business. So investment routes is something that you can actually use to come to Canada. And what do you need to show for that? This is not for everybody. Just like, well, anyway, all programs cannot be for everybody. Some will qualify for some will not qualify for some. So if you want to come into the investment route, what you just need to do is you need to show that you have a minimum net worth. And what do you mean by net worth? When they add all your properties, your cash, your investments, everything you have, when they add them together, you should have a minimum amount. Most times is always maybe like, let me give you an example. Maybe like there are different programs anyway. Different provinces have different programs and different requirements. So but on the average, I think if you have a minimum asset and investments or net worth of about 500,000 Canadian dollars, you should be able to start that program. Now, that's not the only requirement. The other requirement is you must either be a senior manager in the corporate world, or you have business management experience for 2 to 5 years minimum. So if you have a business and you have managed your business for some years, and you can also show that you have net worths, the minimum net worth required by each of the province for their own program. And the third requirement, which is key, is that you actually come into Canada to manage that business. This pathway might be for you. Now, get something right. You're not, it's not like you want to come out. There are so many ways you can do it. You can buy a business yourself in Canada. You can start a business by yourself in Canada. And the third option is you can also buy a franchise. So there are so many ways by which you can do the business aspect of it. But the three basic requirements that would determine whether you can apply: do you have the minimum net worth? And that net worth, sum up all your assets. You have cars, you have houses, you have money in the bank, you have investments, you have treasury bill, you have cash in the bank. Sum everything up. And it's, if you're married, it's also you can add your spouse onto it. You know, you sum all of that up together, and if it meets the minimum requirement by that province, you can apply. Then show that you have either business management experience, maybe you have a business, or you are a senior manager in the corporate world where you work. You have people under you that you manage. Yeah, if you have all that, then you might be eligible to come into this program. It's a way that you can use to bring yourself and your family to Canada, because it covers your spouse, it covers your kids, and what you're coming to do is set up a business and manage the business. And one of the things, some of them will require that you invest a particular amount within a specific period, maybe like 1 year. You invest like 100,000 Canadian dollars in your business. Once you're able to do that, and you're able to show the government that, oh, you have met the agreement that you had with them, you'll be given PR. So investment pathway is one of the programs that you can consider. And a lot of people have come into that pathway, and a lot of people are also maximizing that pathway right now. So you can look at it. If it's something that you can do, you can reach out to us. As I said earlier on, our WhatsApp number is shown on the screen: +1 587 568 6124. You can send us a chat on WhatsApp, and we are sure that we would respond to you and guide you on how to go about it. So, Colin?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about one of the most popular pathways that we have right now, and that is the study pathway. It is an extremely popular pathway, and I think the reason why it's probably so popular is because it is one of the quickest ways for you to actually get to Canada. And it's not direct to PR like some of the other ones, but you can be in the country studying and working while you are also doing the PR and getting those extra points. And we mentioned that in the first one, that when you have studied in Canada, when you have worked in Canada, you get more points for your PR processing. And so you can be in Canada and racking up those points as you are heading towards your PR. So I think it's a great option if you have got the funds for your study. And so for your study, you should have around 30,000 Canadian dollars. Okay, if you have got that amount of money, then you will meet the basic requirement, which is usually you have to show your funds. And then if you're not sure what type of school you want to do or anything like that, that's all something that we can help you out with. We can help you to find the program you want, to get admission, all of those things you want to do. You can go and study. Your spouse, if you have them, they can come with you. They can work. Your children can come with you and they can go to school in Canada. So it's a great option for someone who is trying to get in. Maybe they don't have grade points for PR right away, and they can get more points by going and studying and working with their spouse and everything like that in Canada.
Yeah, I will also add a little to it. Study is one of the pathways that we have used to bring so many people to Canada. This year that has barely started, we have gotten about 27 visa approval, study visa approval, just between 1st of January, if I'm not first, just between 3rd of January. Our first approval came in on the 3rd of January. between 3rd of January and today, 13th of January. So you can see
Mm.
how a lot of people can come in through the study routes. As she said, it's not direct to PR, but it's a phase in between PR that you can use to come in, and when you come in, you can convert. So the turnout for study is so high, and for study, you can take so many people. There's an opportunity to come in to bring in a lot of people through the study route. Because the numbers of people that come in to study in Canada is really so high compared with many other programs. And apart from that, in my own view, I think government is giving a lot of priority to those that are coming to study. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by I want to try and clarify that. Recently, there's a new policy that said students can now work for as long as they want, which means that they encourage them to come, because when you come, you can work for more hours. Previously, you can only work for 20 hours, but now you can work for unlimited hours. Which means that you can raise money for your study yourself, even when you're inside Canada. Anyway, that policy has a deadline. They might extend it. They might still not extend it. It depends. But at least right now, it's still ongoing. So students in Canada right now are able to work longer than 20 hours, which was the norm. That I talked earlier on about the extra entry, that the cutoff mark that they used for the last draw was 507. If you did not study in Canada or you did not work in Canada, it's almost impossible for you to score 500 or 505. It's almost impossible. So technically, it's more for that means is the extra entry tool is kind of indirectly being tailored to people who have studied in Canada or who have worked in Canada. Because if you're outside Canada, the likelihood of you scoring 500 when you're inside the extra entry pool is almost impossible. So it seems, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but in my own view, that's my own opinion, personal opinion, that priority is being given to those that are studied in Canada and those that have worked in Canada. And who are the majority of people working in Canada? They're also students. Because when you study in Canada, you're able to work after your study. You get what we call the learning work permits, and depending on the length of time you have studied, you could get up to 3 years. So if you are working in Canada for 3 years, you are studying in Canada for 1 or 2 years, you studied in Canada for like 5 years, and the cutoff mark is going over 500, it shows that they want you to stay. So it seems Canada wants students and anyone who has already come into Canada to stay in Canada, because you're already inside, you already have a feel of what Canada looks like. Why should you now leave? So if you want to reach out to us, as regards study, our WhatsApp number is still the same: +1 587 568 6124. You can be sure that we understand the study process very well. We have assisted a lot of people. Last year was super for us as regards study. And studies is like the fastest route to come into Canada. It's even faster than visitors visa. It's so funny. It's faster
Mm.
coming through a study visa than a visitors visa. You know. So reach out to us, and we can always help you and guide you right. You know. So I think we should just take questions so that we don't. But before we go on to the questions section, I want to encourage you once again to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our handle is Actually Travel. Also follow us on all our social media channels. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and we're on Twitter. Our handle is also at Truling Travel. So reach out to us on these channels, and we are sure that you always get latest updates on Canada or immigration or anything we are doing. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll be able to watch a lot of videos that we have on them, that are actually going to be beneficial to you and your friends and your families. You can also share this with your friends and families so that they too can benefit from all these things that were put out on our social media channels. You know. So we have a lot of questions. I think it's time to let's go on to the question section and take the questions. We'll try to be fast with this so that we can answer as many questions as we can. Happy New Year to you, TrueLink, and thanks for this webinar. Thank you too. Powerful. Someone said, keep up the good work. Thank you. So educating. Yeah. Someone asked a question here. What are the skills that are in high demand? What are the skills that are in high demand?
I think it's actually better if you tell us what your skills are, and
Yeah,
then we'll tell you if it's in high demand. Because
yeah,
we mentioned during the PNP section, the provincial nomination section of the seminar, that each province is looking for something different. They're not all looking for the same skill.
yeah,
So you might have a skill that's in high demand in British Columbia, but it's not in high demand in Ontario. So when you come to us and you want to have your skills assessed, then we'll help you to find if any of the programs are looking for your skill. And that's the best way. Otherwise, we're going to sit here and list out a whole bunch of skills, and you might not have any of those skills. So it's
yeah,
better for you to let us know what skills you have, and we'll tell you if it's a high demand skill that we can try to do a provincial nomination for you.
yeah. And even just like you said, you're asking us what skills are in high demand. Is what you have that matters. Is it that you want to go? Do you just want to go and learn the high demand skills, or what? You want to take like three,
Yeah.
4 years and learn those skills. You already have whatever you have, but most skills are in high demand. There's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
practically nothing that is not in demand in Canada. There are jobs. There are job vacancies that needs people to fill. And one of the things I think they've said about Canada is the population is changing, and because of that, some people will soon in a few years, a lot of people will soon retire, and they need more people to take over their position. And that's why immigration is really it has been increasing over the years and will continue to likely increase.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The population, the original population, um, doesn't have a good turnover rate in Canada. It has a fairly low birth rate.
yeah,
So a lot of the jobs that exist have to be replaced by people who are outside of the country, because the people who are inside of the country haven't had enough children in those generations to replace all these job vacancies that are coming up. So that's why any skill that you have, you can probably use it. And the other thing is, experience is important as well. You could have 5 skills but only 1 year of experience in each of those skills, or you could have one skill and you have 5 years of experience in that skill, and that might be more beneficial to you. You might get more points for having longer experience in that area.
yeah. Thank you. So someone asked, is there any master's program in language arts? Because I did Yoruba linguistic in my first degree, did art education in my PhD. There are so many programs. There are so many master's programs that you are doing. If I don't think there's any program that you're looking for that you won't likely see. I don't think so. So, but even if you don't get that particular program, you would always get something similar to that you can do. You can just reach out to us and be sure that we can guide you on that. Someone has a question here. What is the difference between self-employed entry and express entry? Self-employed entry. Or I don't know if you are saying self-employed, there's a program that is I don't know. Well, this question is not clear to me, but self-employed entry and express entry. Express entry, I talked about that earlier on. Go back and watch this video. But we have a program too for self-employed people. I don't know if maybe that's what you mean. But I'm not clear on that question, so I won't be able to answer it because I'm not clear about it. What's the first part we discussed? The first one we discussed is express entry. That was the first part where we discussed. Someone said the caregiver program, we need a job before you can immigrate, and it's been difficult to get a job from my country. Yeah, you need a job offer from an employer, an individual employer, not from a government body or a private workforce or whatever. You need a job offer from an individual. You need to reach out. Reach out. How do you get that? There are so many ways you can do that. Go on Facebook, go on social media, go on all these job sites, register your profile, contact your friends online. You have families and friends in Canada. You have many of them have kids. Many of them have people that they need to take care of, that they need a caregiver for. You need to network and reach out to people and get that. Someone asked for our phone number. Our phone number again is our WhatsApp. Let me give you a WhatsApp number. It's easier to reach us on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is +1 587 568 6124. It's shown on our screen. So that's our WhatsApp number. I can also type it here so that you can have it. +1 587 568 6124. That's our number, so you can always get it from there. So the next question is, what are the possible estimated costs to get student visa to Canada? I think we've mentioned that already here. Do you want to? Okay, let me just briefly talk about that. She mentioned it when she was talking about study that you need to show that you have 30,000 Canadian dollars. That's the minimum that you must show. $30,000. So if you have 30,000 Canadian dollars for most schools, if you go and select a course that the school fees is $60,000, it will be more than that. But for the average school fees is about $20,000. Living expense is about $10,000, and that's why we said you should have at least $100,000. But if your school fees is less than that or more than that, then you either have less or more than that. Can you assist with study visa for someone who already secured admission and letter of acceptance? Colin?
Yeah, we can definitely help you with that. Our study visa package is for the study visa. So helping you with admission, that's all something that we do just as an aside. It's not really the bulk of the package. The package is trying to take all of your own background, everything that you have that's very good about you, maybe some things that are not very good about you, and trying to either highlight it or to try to explain it very well so it's not a problem, to make sure that your visa application is the best application that it can be. So if you already have your own admission, then you can just come and we can start on the visa right away. So the only difference is that we're not waiting for admission and we can go right into the visa application process together. So please, if you want to do that, you can send us a message and get started with us right away.
Okay. So someone asked a question there. How long does a visitor's visa take after biometrics in Nigeria? Well, visitor's visa can take based on our own experience, it can take 4 days to whenever they approve it. We have done some in 4 days. You can check our social media channel. You can go to our YouTube channel. You see one of our clients that we got approval for in 4 days. But that does not mean just we put it in 4 days. Because of COVID, there's been a what do you call it? They've not been processing visitor visa as fast as before. But government is working to get it back on track and process all the backlogs of application and the new ones that people are submitting. So it can take 4 days to whenever they process it. I can't give you an accurate date. It also depends on your country of origin and so many factors. But really, it's been delayed. Of late, it's been delayed. So, but that does not still mean that they won't process it. They said they are working on it. They will get all those applications out very soon. A visitor's visa can last for how long? You can get up to 5 years. Canada can give you up to 5 years visitor's visa. In fact, we had a client last year that got 8 years visitor's visa. So it's not you don't have a definite whatever. You can also apply and they give you 2 months. But we had a client, one of our clients last year got 8 years. So that means you can also get that. Please, can you still help with May intake? Do you want to help with that? May intake for admission, I guess.
If you're talking about May 2024, then yes, we can help you. But May 2023, that has been closed for quite a while now at this point. Admission is very competitive, and so you have to apply well in advance of the start date of your program if you want to get a spot. Yeah.
So someone said, my wife got admission in a school in Canada. Can she come in with a family? You want to answer that?
Absolutely. So, well, it would depend on the school that she got. So if she has her admission already, then you can reach out to us and start with study visa, and we'll make sure that that admission will be acceptable for family coming with them. But the children can go. They can go and they will go into Canadian schools if they're old enough for school in Canada, or they'll just come along and they'll have to do maybe daycare. And the spouse, if you want to also go, you can go in and do an open work permit. So it's a really great pathway for the whole family to go with just one person doing their education, and the children come for schooling and the spouse comes for working.
Yeah. So someone asked, when is admission closing for September intake? It's gradually closing. We are rounding up September intake already. So if you want to come in September, you need to reach out to us today. We are already rounding up admission for September 2023. Canada is, when you come to study, the demand for study in Canada is so high. So that's why admission is closing so fast. So if you want September, start today. But if you don't mind January 2024, you can still hold on. To study in Canada, is it a must to write IELTS exam?
Well, for some schools, yes.
Yeah, go on.
Some schools will make you do IELTS, but there are a lot of schools that don't require you to do it, especially if you already had your education was in English before. So there are so many schools like that, and the schools that we apply to for the students that come to us and they need an admission, we don't apply to schools that need IELTS, because normally the people who come to us have not done IELTS yet, and so it's preferable to apply to schools that don't require, and a lot of them don't mind if you've already got your certificate in English from previous education. They don't care about having the IELTS exam done. So you can just apply with your previous education documents, and it shows that you're fully capable of speaking either English or French, depending on which one you're applying for.
Yeah. So the next question here is proof of funds for family of 7. Let me talk about that. If you talk of proof of funds for family of 7, the larger your family, the more funds you need to show. That's a fact. So for family of 7, what we always recommend is the first person who is the student must show that you have your school fees and living expense, which is $5,000. This all these things I'm saying are in Canadian dollars. Then for your spouse, you must show 4,000 Canadian dollars. Then for each of your kids, you must show 3,000 Canadian dollars. So let me repeat that again. The main applicant, if the main applicant should show $30,000, the spouse will need to show 4,000 Canadian dollars. Each of your kids, you need to show 3,000 Canadian dollars. Use wherever country you have, because we have clients from all over the world. Use official rates to calculate just multiply by the official rates. So if you're in Nigeria, you can use 350 to multiply what I mentioned and get the naira value of that. If you're in other countries, just use the official rate to calculate that, and you get the answer to that. Someone says, is there age limit to study bachelor's degree in Canada? Well, I answered this too. There's no age limit to study bachelor's degree, but what happens is you must have very strong reason why you want to come and study a bachelor's degree, especially if you already have a BSc or a master's. If you can study a bachelor's degree, I agree, but you must have very strong reasons. And apart from having strong reasons, you must also, bachelor's degree will take you 3 to 4 years. You must also be ready to show that you have the funds to finance your study for the whole length of time that you are studying. So that if you don't want to get a refuser, that's it. But we had recently we got a visa for a 53-year-old woman, and age is not a factor for study. Anybody can come to study. That's it. As long as you can defend why you want to study. I wanted to go to Canada through external entry, but with what you said about the cutoff mark, I'm thinking of study route. How can I get a visa for the study route? Just reach out to us. Our WhatsApp number is +1 587 568 6124, and you are sure that we'll guide you through. We're ready. We're ready for you. We are fully ready. Just send us a chat, ask us about study plan, and we'll send it to you. Someone said you have not said anything about work visa permits. Work permits is also a way to come in, but it has its own protocol and procedure. Most times you have to first get an employer who will give you a job offer. Then if the job is LMIA exempt, you can apply for a work permit. But if it's not LMIA exempt, your employer will need to apply for LMIA and get a positive or neutral LMIA approved first before you can apply for a work visa. So if you want that too, you can always reach out to us. We'll guide you on that. Someone said, how about someone who has a master's degree? Is it possible for one to scale through in the express entry? Yes. If you have a master's degree, you can scale through the express entry. But master's degree or education is not just the only requirement. There are over 20 requirements that are used for the express entry, like your age, your work experience, your qualification, your marital status, do you have relative in Canada, Have you studied in Canada? Have you worked in Canada? There are so many things that determine your overall score in the first entry. So it's not just about master's degree alone. But if you have a master's degree, yes, it's possible that that will give you an edge over someone that does not have a master's degree. Can a score of 6.5 in English tests, coupled with 1 year program from a Canadian institution, enable one get a PMP in Alberta? Can a score of 6.5 in English language tests? Okay, I want to assume that this question is about IELTS. That okay, if you have IELTS and your average score is 6.5 with a 1 year program from a Canadian institution. Now, well, this question it's general. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not general, it's specific. Well, what I mean by that is the question. I can't give you the right answer to this question because there are other factors that needs to be considered. The question is, okay, one, do you meet the requirement for the Alberta PMP? The other requirements, have you worked in Alberta? That's the question I will ask. Did you study in Alberta? Do you have relatives in Alberta? So there are some other factors that I don't have answers to that makes it a bit difficult for me to give you an answer to this question. But any which way, Alberta has a lower cutoff mark for selecting people in the pool. Many times they've been taking people that had CRS score of 300, and your option too is important. There are some courses that that Alberta will tell you if you are studying this course, or if you have if your work is in this field, you cannot apply for PMP through Alberta. Then Alberta has a funny requirement. Your program of study must flow with the work you are doing and the course you are studying in school. Your previous study must flow with the course of study you came to study in Canada and the work that you're also doing. So those are the things that I need answers to that will make me to be able to answer that question well and give you the right answer. For someone that needs job offer for animal science, can I get a job? Yes, you can get a job. You just need to search. Go online, go and register online, indeed.com, job bank, many of the job sites, register on it and show them what you have. If your course does not require, if the work does not require a license, you might even get one from outside Canada. It's possible as long as you have everything that they need. So someone said, I'm a nurse. I need temporary work visa, but I don't have IELTS. Can you assist in securing a job? Colin, can you assist in securing a job?
We don't help you to get the job, but for nursing, that's one of those areas where, like you mentioned, you sometimes have got jobs that require you to have certificates. Nursing, in most places, you do need to have a Canadian certificate. It depends on the province. You might be able to, for example, take an exam that province offers and then get a nursing license that way. So that's the first thing you'll have to do, actually, is to make sure that you can work as a nurse where you're going to get a job. But if you're not wanting to work, that's for government type healthcare jobs. If you have nursing experience and you're maybe more interested in trying that home support worker program, that doesn't matter if your nursing certificate is eligible in Canada or not. You can still come and work, and then you'd be a nurse type position. You're still caring for someone who needs some help, some nursing help, and you'd just be doing it from the person's home. Maybe an elderly person or someone who has a physical disability or something like that.
Yeah. So someone said, can you shed more light about similar benefits, LMI exempt pathway? There are some programs that does not require LMIA, not so many of them, but if you fall into that category, then you can get a work permit and your employer will not need to apply for LMIA for that. So you just use LMIA exempt. So, and similar benefits means that those programs, Canada needs them. Like some farm jobs fall into that category. So for example, they want to ensure that farming continues going. Farming is something that you don't want any break in the cycle, and you could fall under that category if you qualify for that. How can we apply for schools in Canada with your help, and what are your charges? Link up, check us out on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is +1 587 568 6124. So I want to encourage you once more again to follow us on all our social media channels. Our handle is our Tooling Travel. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we are also on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell button. Make sure you click on that so that anytime we post a video, you'll be one of the first people to get to know about the video. You know, we still have so many questions here, so we'll just try and be brief and attend to all of them. Let's try our best and see how far we can go. Can you enlighten us on flag pole? I was told a visiting visa can be converted to working visa through that. Flag polling means you go to the border to try to change your status, but you can go either way. You can be given the visa, and at the same time you can go the other way. So it's not. But you need to get the visa first. When you get the visa, and are you eligible to apply for a work permit? That's the question. So it's not just about going to Flapo visa. Are you eligible for the work permit that you are going to apply for at the border? Can my wife apply for fashion school? Yes, she can apply for fashion school. Is there a postgraduate diploma in hospitality, and which of the provinces? There are so many. There are so many programs on hospitality, and all provinces have all those programs. Can a dependent of workable age who is on a visitor's visa convert to a work permit in Canada? Can a dependent of a workable age who is on a visitor's visa, if you have a job offer, an eligible job offer, and there's a policy that is expiring in February this year, if you qualify under that policy, you're able to get a job offer, you're able to get an employer who will give a job offer, you are also able to get LMIA for that job. Your employer is able to get LMIA for that job. You might be able to convert, but it's not so easy to convert. I can tell you that. Can I get a fully sponsored scholarship, please? Yes, you can get, but you have to work for it. You have to write the schools. You have to have a good GPA and all that so that the schools can consider you and give you scholarship. Is there a limit to study bachelor's degree in Canada? There's no limit to study in Canada. You can study whatever you want to study as long as you can defend why you're coming to study. So that's it. How do we apply to schools in Canada with your help? Reach out to us on WhatsApp. Our WhatsApp number is +1 587 568 6124, and we are sure that would tell you and guide you on how to go about it. What about someone who has a master's degree? Is it possible for one to scale through in express entry? Yes, you can scale through. Well, we've answered this question before. Do I need IELTS to get to Canada? Course ahead is important. Yes, if you want to do immigration, you need IELTS. But if you study, it's not compulsory. We have so many schools that don't require IELTS. But if your country of origin is not an English-speaking country, you might need IELTS. But if it's an English-speaking country, you may not need that. Which is better and faster? Visitor visa or student? Student visa is, as of today, student visa is faster. As of today, student visa is faster. After getting a job offer in Canada, how long does the process take to get a visa? It depends. It depends on the kind of. It depends. It could take 3 months, 1 month, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. It depends. No fixed time. It depends. It depends on so many factors. What's the volume of applicants they have? Are there health issues like COVID and all that too, which slows down applications? There's so many factors that determine the processing time. Hope this life will be safe so one can watch it again. Yes, that's why I said you guys should subscribe to our channels. This live will be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You will get them there after this session is over. I want to come to study diploma in agriculture. Can I have idea of the costs, please? $5,000 is what you need. That's the average that you need for that. The 10K Canadian dollar, is it for the entire study? No, 10K is not for the entire study. 10,000 Canadian dollars is your living expense for 1 year. While you need to show your school that you have your school fees for 1 year, which is about $20,000, and 10,000 Canadian dollars for your living expense. So what you need to show is 30,000 Canadian dollars minimum.
Yeah.
Is IELTS a must for express entry application? Yes, the must for express. It is a must. It is. Can you use a corporate account to which one is the sole signatory as a proof of funds? I want to assume you say co. Yes, you can use as a co. Co means supporting. Yeah, but it's always best to have the money in your personal account, not your corporate account. Where's your office in Nigeria? We don't have an office in Nigeria. Our office is in Edmonton. I'm talking to you from the office in Edmonton. Me and Colin, we are talking to you from the office in Edmonton. Our office is in Edmonton. We don't have an office in Nigeria as of today. I can drive truck, but I don't have the license to drive up in Canada. How do I go about it? You need to come to Canada and get the license to drive a truck. Then you can look for a job in that category. Can someone with third class apply for study visa? Yes, you can apply for study visa with the third class. There's many questions, so I'm just trying to rush through all of them so we can round up quick. I have 2 master's degree and I evaluated one with West. I want to come to Canada with study route. Can I get a PhD admission, or is best I get another master's? It might be faster for you to get a master's qualification than a PhD, because PhD you need to get a supervisor and it might not be so easy getting one. But you can get a supervisor, you can write very well, you can also do PhD. I'm saying in the PR, I have a business idea that I can teach in foreign exchange. Yeah, reach out to us. We'll guide you and assess you and see what we can do on that. Can one have an admission in a school in Canada and still apply for PNP? Yes, you can. Very well. Colin, the next question. It says, for provincial nomination, how long can I stay in the province before moving?
Oh, you're gonna want to stay there as long as possible. You can be retroactively removed from the program if they feel that you were not being authentic. So provincial nomination is such a good pathway, but you really want to go into it intending to move to the province where you are going to be located. So if you are going to get a provincial nomination from, for example, British Columbia, you want to be sure that you are authentically moving to British Columbia. Not that you can never leave. Of course you can leave, but if you are immediately moving as soon as you have your PR, that's going to be showing the province that you were not genuinely coming to be in British Columbia, and they can revoke that from you. So you want to be sure that you're choosing a pathway that you can show you're intending to move there. And if things change in the future and you get a job somewhere else and you move somewhere else, that's understandable, but you don't want to go into it trying to move right away, because you don't want to risk losing that. Let you get the PR, settle into it, meet all your requirements for the PNP program, and then if you need to move later on, then you can do it when it's you've already fulfilled the requirement that you had.
So most times you have to be there for 2 years. Most times it depends on the agreements you have with the province, but most times 2 years. But you don't want to. About people who left less than 2 years. I've had people who left after that agreement. You can leave. You can legally leave, but nothing will happen to you at all. But you don't want to spoil the opportunities for your family members and every other person coming in tomorrow. So if you sign an agreement that you're going to stay here for 2 years, it's best for you to just stay there for that period of time, and after that you can decide to move if you are not settled in. you know. What is the possibility of accompanying my spouse for work permits if the college she applied for is not eligible for post work permit? It's very low. You cannot apply. You can't accompany your wife on a work permit if the college is not eligible for post work permit. You cannot accompany her on a work permit. The best you can do is come in on a visitor's visa, but you can't come in on a work permit at all. Do I need to verify my credential through agents like West before I can apply for PNP? Yes, you have to. That is compulsory. You must. I have problem getting transcript from my school. I have certificate already. You must get your transcripts if you want to do PR. If you want to do study also, we need a copy of your transcripts and your certificates. Even if it's soft copy, we need that. It's important. Where's your head office in Nigeria? Our head office is in Canada. It's in Edmonton, Canada. We are currently talking to you from the office. Can you assist in getting a job offer for a data analyst for someone that is 50 years old? We don't help with job offers, but we can show you what you need to do to get a job offer. Is highly available for Nigerians? Not yet. It's not available for Nigerians yet. Can 43-year-olds start undergraduates to visit to Canada with necessary results? You can start it if that's what you have, but you have to defend why you're coming for undergraduate at that age. It's very important. Any program on work permit? There are so many programs. I've heard about TrueLink. I would like to visit the office soonest. Yeah, come to the office. Come and join us here in Canada. Visit us here. Can I get a caregiver job without IELTS? You can get a job without IELTS, but the PR pathway and the work permit requires that you must do IELTS. So it's also very important that you should do IELTS. I want to relocate to Canada with my wife. Our score is 480, and presently the cutoff mark is 507. What would you advise? Come in through study. That's my advice. Come in study, then you can continue to hope that the cutoff mark will come down to 480. When you come into study, you get extra point for studying, When you add that to your score, it will push you above 500 most likely. Can someone who already has HND apply for master's program, and does it still require $30,000? Yes, you can apply. You can apply for a postgraduate diploma most likely. My wife is a nurse and she already passed IELTS to work in the UK. Can she use that IELTS to make Canada? I'm aware that UK makes use of UKVI IELTS. The IELTS we use in Canada is IELTS General, so she may not be able to use. If the IELTS she did is IELTS UKVI, she may not be able to use that. I have a master's degree. Can I study for just a 1-year diploma? Yes, you can. Very well. Can you work in Canada and pay for your school fees? Yes. Go to my YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. We have many videos on that. Can you work in Canada and pay your fees? We have a recent video on our YouTube that talk about that. Please go to our YouTube channel, watch that video, and you will understand that yes, you can work in Canada and pay for your school fees. Because recently they changed the policy and allowed people to come to Canada. Those who study in Canada can work full time now, so you can pay your school fees. Do you help with bank statement? We do not help with bank statement at all. Can you throw more light on RNIP, Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot Program? Do you process the pathway? We process it. Please chat us up on WhatsApp and we'll send that to you. You need to have, for RNIP, you need to get community nomination and you need to plan to go to that rural community. And the committee in that rural community must also nominate you. So they have so many requirements for that. If you need that, we can always help you with it. Can I change career through studying in Canada? Yes, you can change career. Can I use NECO for an undergraduate program? Yes, you can use NECO for that. If you help me get a study visa for fashion school, will I get a PWB afterwards? Yes, you will get it. What's the difference between Canada College and university program? They're the same thing, just that universities are a bit higher, colleges are a bit lower, but it's still they are still very good. Studying a college year is still very fine. My CRS is 481. There's hope for me on the express entry pool. Well, there's hope. When you can come in through study, please come in through studies. It might be faster. It might come in faster with the study visa. Can you help someone with a nurse get a healthcare job? No, we don't help with jobs, but we can guide you on what you need to do. Does a graduate of music have higher chance of getting a job in Canada, especially as a music teacher? Well, if you meet the requirement of a music teacher here, you will get it, but you need to have that work experience and some other things. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a Cameroonian. I want to move to Canada. I just have passport. Yeah, chat us up on WhatsApp. Go to our website, fill out our free assessment, and let's assess you. Then we'll let you know if you meet the requirement. There are so many questions here. A study, I have admission for a graduate program. Can my spouse come with me subsequently? Yes, you can. Your spouse can come with you subsequently or even immediately. It's possible. Can someone of age 38 with 10 years experience and wife and 2 kids apply for PMP? Yes, you can apply for PMP. Very well. Can 37 years use advanced diploma to graduate to Canada via study permits? Anybody can come into study as long as you can defend why you want to study in Canada. So the last question now, am I likely to get an admission in nursing as an undergraduate and go with my family? You can get admission, but while you come to study nursing, you must be able to defend it. Because if you don't defend it, your visa will not be approved. So I want to tell you that there's nobody that cannot study in Canada. Everybody can study in Canada as long as you can defend why you are coming to study, and we can always help you achieve that goal. We can also guide you, so that we can help you process everything. We can process everything. We have had a very high success rate last year, and this year is looking better than last year already. So you can reach out to us and we can help you with that. Someone said, I need your number in WhatsApp. Our number again is, let me put it on the screen. Our number again is +1 587 568 6124. That's our phone number. Chat us on WhatsApp, and you are sure that you would get a response from us when you chat us up on WhatsApp. What is the country doing for caregivers already in the country and have applied for PR and got denied for no substantial reason? Or is the immigration system broken? Wow. I think if you are refused, they will give you a reason for refusing you. And you can always find that. You can ask for the GCMS notes. You can, if you think you are refused unjustly, you can do JR for that, judicial review for that, and so many things. So reach out to us. We can look at your circumstances and see how we can help you with that. Can I come in with visit visa and later get admission? Yes, you can. You can. But there's no advantage because you still need to show that you're going back to your country of origin. You still need to show funds, So if you can apply from where you are, why don't you just do that? If you want to apply from inside Canada, you still have to show everything as if you're outside Canada. So it's not like you will not. How do you defend why you are studying? What are the requirements or the permission to prove why you are studying in Canada? How do you defend why you are studying? Yes, now Canada wants to see that you are really a genuine student, not that you want to use the study visa is a temporary visa. So you want to show them that okay, well, you are coming here temporarily, you are going back to your country of origin, even if you don't plan to go back. We know that 99% of students may not want to go back, but you need to show them that you're going to go back. So when you select the course, you have to select the course that is relevant to you, possibly relevant to you in your home country and all that. I think we'll look for one of these days. We'll do a seminar on that and talk about it well extensively, but we don't have much time any longer. I think we have to stop here. Someone said, hi, and my family applied for tourism since last year, and we did biometrics June 20, but no response since then. Can my husband apply for student visa while that is still under process? Yes, your husband can apply for study visa while that is being processed. I told you that study visa is faster right now than tourist visa. Study visa is faster. You get responses. In fact, we've been getting responses to our study visa applications in 2 months now. 8 weeks, we're getting responses. So it's possible that you too will get a response if you do a study visa, and that can be faster. Colin, maybe you should help us answer this last question. It says, can I apply for a postgraduate diploma program, and will it enable me to carry my family along?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So if you're applying for the postgraduate program and you want our help to do that, we will apply to a school that will allow you to meet the eligibility to bring your spouse with you on a work permit. So you can go, you can study, you can work, and your children can come, they can study, your spouse can come, they can work. Everyone can go along with you, but you have to get the right school that's going to offer that eligibility to you. Otherwise, like we said earlier, then the spouse can still come, but it will be on a visitor visa, so they won't be able to work. So you want to get everyone there working, studying all together. Yeah, we could do it.
Okay, so that's clear. Someone said, I'm in Dubai. How can I get visa for Canada? You can. It's the same process.
Yeah, you can apply. You will just apply from Dubai if you're still in Dubai.
Yeah, the processes are done online, so that's it.
I saw a question earlier about if a home support worker can be a female or be a male. It doesn't matter if you're female or male. They don't have those types of requirements in the programs. So it doesn't matter what your gender or sex is. Canada is very inclusive about all of that. So you can be female, male, any of these jobs. That makes no difference at all what your gender is when you're applying for any of these programs. No difference at all.
Okay. So thank you all for coming. Before I would conclude this program, please don't forget to follow us on all our social media channels. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn too. We're also on YouTube, so that's our YouTube channel. You can always reach out to us on these channels if you have further questions. Just send us a chat on WhatsApp, and even all these channels, you can always reach out to us on all these channels, and we'll attend to all your questions. Thank you all for coming again. We'll be having this every month, so we're looking forward to seeing you again next month when we come together, when we come here to answer your questions and talk about a topic that would be interesting to people, that people want answers to. Thank you guys. Colin, anything before we round up? Last word from you for this seminar?
I'm glad that we were able to answer lots of questions. And I hope that everyone who joined us here is having a good start to their 2023 year. And I look forward to being able to meet again and chat with everyone going into the rest of the year as well.
Yeah. So see you guys. Thank you.